What's going on, everyone? Podcast 147. Hope everyone's having a good day so far. 7:24 in the morning. Man, it's Wednesday. We're officially into June. We're just out here doing the damn thing. New album out now, Cruize out everywhere. Go check it out. Let me know your favorite song. We worked pretty hard on it, so I'm just still trying to push it, get it out there. I do have a new album, a new project dropping with my boy Young Kai on June 12th. Hopefully, that's the goal. I've been having some issues with DistroKid, my site that I upload my music. It's like they keep flagging my uploads. It's just kind of been a pain in the butt, but it's taught me you got to learn to. Sometimes in life you got to call an audible. You got to call an audible. It's never. Life is hardly ever going to go according to your exact thought and plan. And you have to be okay with it, man. You got to be okay and just learn to call an audible, switch it up, call a different play. It's wild how, football references relate to life in general. Yeah, and I'm definitely learning to call audibles in my life. I've realized that, over the years, especially as I'm making music and just being a dad and all these things, man, it's like you have to be quick to accept change and go with the flow. And sometimes your plan isn't part of the flow. And you got to be okay with it, The more you linger on the fact that your plan isn't going according to plan, the more you're just going to sit and suffer. Because regardless, change is inevitable, and you have to be willing to flow with it. It's not a bad thing, it's not a good thing. It's just neutral, Sometimes you just got to be neutral. Yeah, man. There's a car just stopped in the middle of the road back there. Yeah, man. Sorry my last episode was a little cut and dry. I feel like I had a lot on my heart, my mind, and I just wanted to get it off. And I feel like this is sort of the best platform that I could do that on. And I don't know that this episode's really going to be that much better, considering it's only been 2 days, but for some reason I just felt compelled to hit record this morning. I don't have a plan. I'm just gonna do my thing. Just let whatever comes out come out. I've been praying a lot more, tapping back into the Bible. It's our daily bread. We got to get it in. And I've realized, I've found more joy and more peace in my life whenever I'm praying and reading the Bible and just, really focusing in on Jesus and God, my family, focusing in on, how I can be more like Jesus, in my own life. It's a daily battle, and it's a battle between me and me, or I should say me and the unseen, because you never I feel like it's not a battle, a physical or worldly battle all the times. Most of the time it's a spiritual battle that we're fighting that we can't see. And you just have to know the battle that you're fighting in order to win. If you don't understand the battle that you're fighting and you're just out here fighting, you're gonna be disappointed because you're gonna lose. But when you understand the battle that you're fighting, the war inside, I think that you have an advantage over the enemy. Because you already know like what you're trying to accomplish. It's a nice motorcycle in front of me. Yeah, man, I hope that makes sense. To me, it makes sense to know your battles. Now, you can't always live your life ignorant to what's really going on. I think for so long I've tried to just put off getting into the fight, the nitty gritty. I've tried to put it off, hoping that it'll just go away. And that's just not how life works. It's going to stick around the more that you put it off. Sometimes you just got to get dirty. You got to get, battle tested. You got to go to war. And again, I'm not talking like physical war or anything like that. I'm talking, the spiritual side of things. Fighting your temptations, fighting your sin, fighting your bad habits that aren't helping you move forward. And some of it does have to do with your physical body. You gotta put good in, man. If you're not putting good into your body, your spirit's gonna suffer. Because your spirit is strong when you're feeding your body strong ingredients. Your spirit thrives when your body thrives. But if your body's not thriving, it's hard for your spirit to have the energy to fight the battles that you can't see. So some of it is physical. You gotta be willing to hit the gym every once in a while. Put some exercise into your body. Just get up and move. Now, if you're sitting down all the time and you're just laying around, you're lazy, your spirit's gonna be tired. And then you're gonna fall into these temptations. Because it's just what your body is programmed to. Your body's part of the world, man. And the world is not always a good place, So if your body's just being tempted all the time to fall into these sins and these bad habits, you're going to lose your battle. You're going to lose the battle within. So know your battles, man. Know your battles. Know what you're fighting, so you know how to fight. You're not going to know how to fight if you don't know what you're fighting. what you're fighting for. Study it, you know? I think part of fighting the battle too that I'm learning is, you know, you have to be willing to create. You know, you got to make art everywhere you go, but make it as like a representation of the Almighty Creator. You know, when every creation that you make is another representation of God, you know, I think that that helps you fight in the battle. I think everything you should do should be a representation of the Almighty Creator. Everything. Words that you speak, actions you put into place, how you treat others, how you treat your environment, how you treat other living things, plants, animals, all of that should be a representation of the Almighty Creator in some form. You know, in some form, you're showing God that you appreciate the inspiration. Yeah, man. Yeah, that's facts right there. I think a lot of times I fall into this pit of, you know, trying to do me all the time. The more I do me, the more I fall into these sins and these lusts and these temptations and all this stuff. The more I do me. But the more that I represent God and I'm a vessel for light and love and for the kingdom, I think the more I inspire others to be great as well. And it also is easier because I'm taking the eyes off me. You know, when I'm taking the eyes off me, I can do all these things freely, and it's not forced. It's not forced. When I'm doing me, it's a force all the time because it's not real. It's not genuine. It's coming from a shallow, hollow place. It's not coming from a place of love and light. So I think all things that I do should be a representation of God. But you got to know your battles, man. You got to know your battles. Know what you're fighting. And it's in the unseen. The unseen battle. Yeah, man. Hope all that makes sense. I know I'm kind of just rambling, but to me it makes sense. And hopefully, if you're listening to this, it makes sense to you as well. Like I said, I just felt compelled to hit record, so whatever come out, that's what it was going to be. And if it doesn't make sense, then next time I'll call an audible. Switch it up. I hope you guys have a good rest of your week. I probably won't do another episode until next week, so we'll see, man. You know, just depends on if I feel compelled to do it. But you know, again, I do apologize. I know the last couple episodes I've sort of been in my own little world, I guess. Just feeling like things are just kind of cut and dry, and I'm more or less just rambling. But it's all good, man. You know, it's all good. So I hope you guys have a good week, rest of your week, and have a good weekend. And yeah, man, we'll tap back in soon. So much love, peace.